angalieni nyuma. Nugu huona kundule la mwenzake inaichekelea kwa kuchafuka. Wewe angalia kundule lako pia. Wacha kuangalia hiyo mchungaji. Wewe jiangalie kama mchungaji pia wewe. Kanisa yako iko namna gani? Mazungumzo yako iko namna gani? Ukabila yako iko namna gani? Corruption yako ukiwa mtu kiongozi wa kanisa, corruption yako iko namna gani? In the society. Unadanganya watu namna gani? Unasoma pahali unataka all the time. Wakati matoleo haina ya kutosha, you know where to mention. Unataka kanisa tuchange, tukununulie kiwanja kwa jina yako, tukujengee kwa jina yako. That is personal property, it's not the church you like to hear. NCCK, where are you to sort out these churches? Pentecostal churches, where are you? You must be front. Yukodemu hii mambo. Ni kwa nini hakuna pastor ataweza hubiri na huyo mwingine 1 year? Lazima aende afungue yake. Hii lessons watu wanajipea using extension. Ni kama lease extension ya shamba. People are using extension of the licenses of their church so that they can be bishops and collect money from all the small churches. Ili wamefungua kama branches. Wewe usaidike, utajirike, wewe na gari kubwa, lakini unanyonya mwananchi kwa kupeana to branches. And when I'm finishing, surely, also, if we are not going to go in planning of the country, you're going to have a big disaster coming also. Because you cannot subdivide the shamba. Kwa mfano, maybe 2 acres. You divide that shamba 50 by 100. You have no condition of subdividing. There's no road, there's no water. Then you sell to the church. Wanajenga kanisa, inakesha usiku mzima. Mtu ule mwingine naye amejenga nyumba pale ya kuja kupumzika. Ule mwingine amejenga bar, ule mwingine amejenga butchery. We are failing in this country if we are not planning. Before tukizaliwa makanisa ilikuwa na sehemu yao identified. Ndio wakifanya kesha na mambo ya usiku, they are not disturbing mtu ambaye amekuja kupumzika kutoka kazini. Watoto ambao wanataka kufanya homework, they would be comfortable. All these things imechanganyika, and they are the most important thing we should be discussing in this country. But we are busy fighting with the government, looking how we should be there. Let me tell you, Azimio, I'm not saying that you have no rights in democracy, but I'm telling you, even if you are the one who is now Raila Odinga in the government, this problem could just be continuing. This problem should be fixed na mtu wako ndani na yule yako nje. Tupange, tutengeze nchi mzuri. Tukienda kwa uchaguzi, tukute nchi ambaye ina usawa, ina uhaki, ina mambo ambaye inafaa. I think that should be the direction. So, I ask Kenyans, God may bless us as Kenyans, and let's think twice. What should we do? We are in a big crisis for now, where we are. God bless Kenya.
The appropriate framework for the reconstruction of all the affected areas, a Marshall Plan of sorts, as promised by President William Ruto during his campaigns for the presidential election. And that paper is now pending clearance at the National Security Council and the Cabinet. I can assure the nation, through you, Mr. Speaker, that in another 2 months, we will be able to announce the comprehensive Marshall Plan for permanent solutions so that we don't have these things repeating every year and for us doing the same thing every other year and expecting different results. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to thank the Minister for coming. I had no doubt, given the frustration we shared with him in this House for many years when we needed information from this critical ministry, that he would come. And I want to thank him and his office for the cooperation that they gave us when we were trying to urge them to come. Mr. Minister, in your position, you have access to special intelligence reports. Kenyans would like to know, unless your disclosure will prejudice operations, they would like you to tell them the role played by political players, including sitting MCS and sitting members of parliament, who we believe, wrongly or otherwise, you'll confirm, that they are part of the problem of incitement, the problem of giving logistical support, and the problem of funding, and Mr. Speaker, the problem of procuring markets where these animals are sold as far away from northeastern as Nairobi in Dagoretti. Could you share with us? And number 1B of my question, Mr. Speaker, do you have a plan, Minister, to disband that structure of security called police reservists?
Honorable CS, kindly proceed.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to respond as follows with regard to the supplementary question raised by the distinguished senator for Kakamega. We have made significant progress in tracking and nailing the masterminds of banditry. I can confidently assure the people of Kenya, we have in our radar a number of politicians of different cadres whose activities have been linked to the support, funding, and encouragement of banditry. We have crucial evidence, some of which was collected at the scene of crime at the attack in Kainuk early in the year, which incriminates political leaders and other people. I can also report to the House, we have evidence which we are almost at the tail end of finalizing and processing of the senior commanders in the banditry enterprise. Mr. Speaker, the banditry criminal enterprise has its own command. Just last week, one of the most notorious commanders of banditry was apprehended alive from the Corcoran Hills and arraigned in court. And the leaders from Baringo and those parts know who that person is. He's terrorized us and is even helping us even to zero in and fill the gaps of the investigations that are ongoing. I want to assure the House that very soon we will have high-profile arraignment of the command of bandits, whether they are civilian commanders, politicians, etc. And we want to build a case that will succeed in court. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CS. Now, Honorable Senators, indeed, I can see quite a number of senators would wish to ask supplementary questions to the Cabinet Secretary. However, we have expended well about 40 minutes on this particular question. If you remember my first communication when we adopted these standing orders, I indeed made it clear to you that we were going to spend at most 20 minutes per question. I want to believe that the CS Interior, this is not his last appearance before us, And any supplementary question, honorable senators, you may be having, I believe we'll still find an appropriate opportunity to be answered by the CS. Therefore, I'm afraid to say that we will. Honorable senators, the reason I always ask you to read your standing orders is because of, for such reasons. You're raising a point of order on who? There's no senator who is on his feet. And therefore, that is the communication from the chair. Now, honorable senators, I've got a communication to make. Senator Kinyua, kindly take your seat. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Right Honorable Chief Fortune Zephaniah Charumbira, the President of the Pan-African Parliament, in the Speaker's Gallery. The Right Honorable Charumbira is in the country for an official visit to the Parliament of Kenya. He is accompanied by Mr. Daniel Bachuane, an officer from the Pan-African Parliament. Honorable Senators, I have had an opportunity to engage with the Right Honorable Chief Charumbira, and our discussion centered on parliamentary diplomacy and climate change. These are pertinent issues affecting African region as a whole, with respect to food security, conflict resolution, and resource management, and are high on the agenda of the Pan-African Parliament. We also had a discussion on the upcoming Heads of State Summit in the month of May 2023 in South Africa. Honorable Senators, in our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to the Right Honorable Chief Fortune Zephaniah Charumbira, and on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, wish him a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Tana River, the Honorable Mungatana, to make very brief welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we want to join you as part of the Kenya delegation, which is comprised of myself, the Honorable Professor Kamar, the Honorable Member for the National Assembly, Honorable Mukami, the Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga, the Honorable Esther Passaris, to welcome the President of the Parliament, which is resident in South Africa. Mr. Speaker, this President has been very effective in terms of supporting the agenda for the continent. Mr. Speaker, that Parliament has been transformed from the chaos that it used to be before to a platform for exposition of the agenda of Pan-Africanism. Mr. Speaker, we credit him for the work that he has done since his election as President of the Pan-African Parliament. Mr. Speaker, we from Kenya have been pushing and continue to push that